Welcome back. This is our final lesson in this Unit 5. Actually, I think we're in Unit 6 right now. Subtracting mixed numbers. So we made it. The last lesson we talked about what a mixed number was. It is a whole number with a fraction attached to it. So this would be 2 and 3/4. That's how we would read it. This time we're going to be subtracting mixed numbers from one another. So let's start with an easier one. I'm going to write it vertically because, as I just showed you in the adding mixed numbers lesson, that's how I do my work best. So let's say I have 4 and 3/4, and I subtract 2 and 1/4. Again, in 4th grade, they're going to expect you can do common denominators when they're the same, so fourths. If I have 3/4 and you want 1/4 and I take that away, what do I have left? I have 2/4. And then 4 minus 2 is 2. So my answer would be 2 and 2/4, or 2.5 if you wanted to reduce that or simplify it. Now, that was really simple, and that's how we would start in class, where we have our mixed number. They would see it. Honestly, by this day, they usually get it pretty well. The only challenge that they have is when this fraction is smaller than this one. So let me go through that and what that looks like. There's a whole step to it. So let's just flip those, and instead of 4 and 3/4, we'll do 4 and 1/4 minus 2 and 3/4. So just like my subtraction video at the very beginning of the year, my number on top is now smaller. My fraction, 1/4, is smaller than 3/4, which I then have to get some help. I can't just subtract right now. So I'm going to trade, and just like earlier this year, I'm going to look to the place value next to it, to the left, and that should help. If it's a 0, obviously I need to go one more spot, but I'm going to trade. I'm going to take away one group of 1, and I'm going to now have 3 groups left. Now here's the interesting part. When I bring over, unlike earlier in the year when I brought over 10, because I was taking one group of 100 and making 10 tens, or one group of 10 and making 10 ones, this time I'm bringing over just one whole, because I only am talking about one whole in this case. So I had 4 wholes. I'm taking one away, which gives me 3, and I'm bringing over one whole. Now, you should have already watched the video on fancy forms of 1. That is what we're going to be bringing over. We're going to add one whole, but instead of making it like that, which is no help to us whatsoever, what we're going to do is bring over a fancy form of 1. Now, if I have fourths here, which fancy form of 1 would be the best one for me to use? Hopefully you're thinking to yourself, 4/4. It equals one whole, but it's going to work really well with my 1/4 right here, because I can add these together. 1/4 plus 4/4 gives me 5/4. And whether you want to rewrite that on the side or erase and write it in, now I have enough where I can actually subtract. So I have 5/4. I'm going to take away 3/4, and that gives me 2/4 left, or 1/2. And now I have 3 minus 2 is 1 whole. So that's an example of what your children will see in class. I want to do one more real quick, just to go through the process. Let's say I have 8 and 1, actually I'll make it 4/7, and I'm going to subtract 5 and, let's see, 6/7. Okay, again, 4/7 is smaller than 6/7, so I need to trade. This 8 becomes a 7. I bring over a group of 1 whole. Fancy form of 1. Which fancy form of 1 should I be using? I would use 7/7, because I already have 7s. I wouldn't have to change my denominators then. If I add 4/7 plus 7/7, I now have 11/7. And when I subtract it from 6/7, that gives me 5/7 left. 7 minus 5 is 2. My answer would be 2 and 5/7. So hopefully that makes sense. If you have any questions, please ask your math teacher. They'd be happy to help you.